Hello, and welcome back. 1:15 Sunday afternoon. Sourcing video. Turn that music off. Thank you. So since I really don't do a whole lot of sourcing on the weekends, I will, and if I do, it's going to be local, or I have some sort of reason or purpose to be somewhere where otherwise I will find the thrift stores, or I know where there's thrift stores at. I went to Medina yesterday, and John went ahead and readjusted the brakes, derailleur, seat, um, trued the rims to where they don't have a wobble to them. Did a few other things that I had noticed that needed to be done, and before I got there, knowing that I'd go to Medina and that there are stores en route to his house, so I stopped at the Salvation Army in Copley, the Goodwill in the guy in Copley. Actually, I met a guy in Copley. I didn't get his name. I have his number, and he has mine. And he lives in North Canton, which from that Copley area really isn't too far. I mean, it's straight down 21. But from here, North Canton is hour 15, hour 20. He's moving in, is what he told me, is that he has, like, he believes to be about 2,000 DVDs, and I was mentioning CDs and audiobooks and actual paper books and PC games and video games and stuff like that. He goes, yeah, I have some other, stuff like that as well. So hopefully he calls me. If he doesn't call me, he said he'd call me today. If he doesn't call me today, I'll call him, or I'll send him a text sometime next week, because if he's going to move, I don't know the situation, but I'm going to guess probably try to move by the end of the month. So I'll reach out to him sometime next week and see if I can get a really good deal. And he was saying like 50 cents for at least the DVDs, 50 cents each. So it's either I scan and I pay 50 cents, or I just come back with a whole bunch. And then I'm able to make, with loose stuff, I'm able to make small lots. It could be a bunch. I could have 100 fantasy and adventure and those type of animal, Pegasus and unicorns and things like that. There could be a bunch of those and action adventure. So it goes on. So I went to that one, talked to that guy, have his number, hopefully hear something back from him, and then went to the Goodwill in Medina, and then went to John's, and then went to Brunswick, the Volunteers of America, and then the Goodwill, and just came back home. Now, I could have gone to Strongsville Goodwill, which is about another 15 minutes north, and then the Strongsville Salvation Army, which was Saturday, so they'll be open. However, the Strongsville Goodwill, typically, it's been a while. Last time I got much of anything there was the day when I was there, and I was going through the big 4x4 hopper bins, and the power went out. So there was, I couldn't use my card. I didn't have cash on me. Actually, their entire computer went out, so they couldn't even really do anything. And so they held it for me for like 2 weeks, and I went down and got it a couple weekends later, or a week later, whichever it was. The Salvation Army in Strongsville sometimes pans out. So, and I found some fairly interesting books there. So when I do what I call the Parma run, I'll go to the Salvation Army in Strongsville, and then Brook Park, and then I'll go from Strongsville to Brook Park, because that Goodwill in Brook Park is 10 minutes up the road. Then there's another Goodwill right around the corner from there, and then there's Parma Savers in the Parma Salvation Army, which I haven't been to in months. That may be tomorrow, I don't know, but this is a sourcing video, so let's find out what I got. All right, so at the VUA, $2. Actually, these were $1. They were half off. They had a bunch of good frames and stuff, but some of them they had tagged $6, $7, $8. They would have been ones I would have bought. They would have been $1 or $2 or maybe $3. They were all pretty much within the 30 range, and for frames, they do sit around. I have boxes this size right here, this size, the medium rate rectangle box, 1, 2, 3, essentially 4 of those that have my sunglasses and frames in them, and they do add up. Matter of fact, the ones that I just listed the other day filled up the 4th box. So when I run the sale at the end of this month, it'll probably be about a week. It'll be 2 tiers higher. Hopefully, I can flush some stuff out, and then whatever frames and stuff when that's said and done, I probably have at least 30 that are going to be $15. The main thing I'm looking for is stuff that's really set around that's $15 or less. If I've had them for 8 months, 10, a year, it's time for them to go. So they do sit around. So I wasn't going to put the money in those, but I'll put $1 in a pair that's like $30. All right, get into this stuff. I did go ahead and stack it in the tentative value order. So let's go from there. This is Pipe Dreams Premieres Volume 2, a collection of music from the King of Instruments, the pipe organ. Not much. And it has this little paper on the back. Probably about $15, and I got it because it's sealed. And it's $15, right? This is Stephen Wilson. Grace for Drowning or Drawing. Difficult to read the little cursive on there. About $20. These other ones, no. This Nomads mint disc with slipcover. They do sell regularly. There's a couple that are listed by a scan for like $35, and hit the solds they really don't. They do sell quite a bit. It's still, let's just say, about $20. Might be a little more. This stuff, for the most part of this one here, it's all going to be 20 to 30. This is Andy Garcia. Feels like it is a 2-disc. I'll say felt heavy enough. So it is a 2-disc. Maybe 25. Keep in mind these are all going to be 20 to 30. This John Pinette, which when I did the Sell Similars today, I have a John Pinette DVD that's like $50. But this is a sealed CD. Cracked the case on the back, like $25. Fresh Beat Band Season 2. There are 2 of the 4 discs in here. It's still going to be right around $20 for just the 2. It is an X library. Last Klezmer DVD, closer to upper 20s. Heartland, I think this is like 25, sealed. All right, this PlayStation X-Men Mutual Academy PS1 with the registration card. This might have a speck of dust on it. Absolutely mint. Doesn't even look like it's ever been used or played. So these in a very good condition, like $15, in a like new condition, and I will divulge, it has minor case wear and stuff, but the disc and everything will be listed as like new. They're closer to 30 as like new. All right, so these 2 here, I have no idea who she is, and I scanned this one, nothing came up, but I set it aside because it is signed. And it has a little note in it. And then I scanned this one, and this one sells. She is Rena Del Cid. This new was like $30. You tie in something that by a scan, I don't think there are any listed or sold, but it's sealed or it's signed. So I'm sure I could put the 2 together for about $60. This one is Vinny Paz. X Library. Has some scuffs on it, so this will get resurfaced. But even at that, used are anywhere from 40 to over $50. So as an X library that will be resurfaced, it's still probably gonna be like $40. The seventh guest PC. So this is why, as we just saw with the PlayStation game and some of audiobooks and different types of DVDs and just disc media. That's why I like disc media, because this stuff is just mixed in with the CDs. At most places, some places they'll separate the games and audiobooks, and they'll do that, and the price may be a little more for games and stuff, but it all varies. Now this one caught my attention because it has its 15 on it, so that's going to tell me that it's import. Most likely ones that look just like that, as opposed to like a triangle. A triangle is like India and those areas, and what is that, like Philippines down there and Taiwan. I don't know if that's what this, with all the triangle represents, but the triangle and the circle and kind of, they could be like a rhombus, like a text, whatever tensite is, or eight. Well, eight is an octave, but still, you see this on there, you know it's going to be an import. So I look it up, and it is a 2-disc game, real clean mint discs, near mint, I'd say, a couple specs on them. So it is a London or a UK. Yeah, London on it. Yep, London. So this is a London import of Seventh Guest, the first one, 2-disc PC game. Look them up. One sold. It's like 60, $70. Maybe it was 50, 60. But still, for me to pay, like, get this, $2 for it, yeah, I'll take the pictures and I'll list and just wait. Here are the interesting ones. So I am not going to individually go through all of these. There is, so let's go like this. So these are these ones here. So popular classical jazz theme, and the other one is Jessica Williams. So what makes these things a little different is if you're old enough or privy enough, you'll know what this emblem is or what it represents. These are 3.5-inch floppies. Fun, strange fact: aviation and pilots still use floppy disks for their instructional information for their flights. Good old YouTube, always learning new stuff. And they had some disc media ones of them, just weren't as valued because I just typed in, where's it at? Piano something. Oh, piano disc and PD. And so these come up sold anywhere from $25 to $40. Just typing that in, I didn't look up anything individually. I'm like, that's enough for me to pay $2 for them. And there's 5. So if it turns out that if any of them that are pretty much like $20 or more will be listed individually, I may just start them all off individually. And in, let's just say, 6 months, I start taking some down to reprice them. That's probably when I'll just put whatever's left over together. So anyhow, there's those, let's just say $30 each. Now we get into the books. Don't touch me. Thank goodness that was a light fall. All right, get in the books. Yeah, I probably should have said where I got all those other things at, but still. All right, this was Salvation Army. This is the very first book that I saw. Very top shelf, far right-hand side, tucked all the way back in the corner behind bigger books. Right, so when I'm looking at books on the shelves in the far back, non-reachable corners, it's also good to have long arms. I pull all of that. I make sure that the very first book that I'm able to see, the very first book on that row. So what I did for this one, I pulled the big book, moved it over, and this one. So just imagine a bookshelf like this. This book is tucked in all the way down here like this, or however it's tucked in. And you have a big book like this. So I grab this book and I pull it over to kind of push the rest of it all that way. That way I have room as I'm sifting. So I can either just grab one or just take my eye down to maybe 20 or 30 books that I don't want. I'm not going to look up, and then just slide them all the way to the right. And now I have another chunk I can look at. And then when I'm done at one row, I may still have more of the row. I will just take a book that's vertical, turn it on the side, and pull it out. And that way I know that's my stopping point. Then I'll go all the way back over here like a typewriter. All the way back to the beginning, next row down. So it doesn't take long. All right. So this one was hiding. This one was hiding in the very back like that. And all I read was ghost. I'm like, yep. So this, although it does have a little tear down here, for the 99 cents, they are at that Salvation Army. It's still like $30. The Jefferson Bible, 1940, selected, not compiled, and there's another version of it. It's 1940, like new. Everything is really clean on it. 30 to 40 bucks. Might be a little under, but I'll ask a little more just because the condition. The other ones that are listed, not as well as condition. So I'll ask probably 40 bucks. Basic electronic test procedures. This one was, it was a half off. So this was $1. Not a big seller, 20 to 30 bucks maybe. But for $1, they do sell. They are a little slower, but it's an older, kind of technical. That looks like math for an RMS equation. I guess somebody that's wrote in there. So you have your coils, coil, resistor, some sort of diode, some sort of actuator. But this, whatever it was, there was a lot of different components. Whatever it was, so RMS, root mean square, is what that means. So they take the mean of the peak and the root that made that mean, and they square that, and then that's how you end up with the RMS for like speakers. 700 RMS is your average high. Generic math. It's like, how can you define RMS as someone average high? How can you define impedance to something? Something that slows it down or doesn't allow as much to go through. How do you define a capacitor? It's a temporary battery, right? So different meanings. The search for Adele Parker. This one was also half off, white and green. Now there's one. Yeah, because I got a bunch of half off stuff. So white and this is Adele Parker, I think. I think it was like part of a show. Almost 50 years ago, when North Olmsted, so North Olmsted is another one of those towns that I go to that's between Parma and Avon, was a streetcar stop and a gas station. Adele Von Old Parker, okay, protege of Buffalo Bill, descended on the town from the stages of 1,000 county fairs, vaudeville houses, and silent movies. That's what it reads in here. An introduction page on that. It does have a little bit of foxing. It's still like a $40 book. I think it's a first. No, it doesn't even indicate first or not. So it most likely would be. And I do have a screenshot I'll put up, and I will get to the reason of that screenshot when I get to this book. So about 40 bucks. Instant Image. This one was, it would have been a Goodwill. So down there, they're $1.50 for this hardcover. It's about 30 bucks, 35, give or take. This one was at VOA, which I already took the sticker off. And that one was $1.99, $2. This one here. And nothing I got there was half off, which I only got the glasses. Oh no, the glasses was half off. This was not. All right, so this is Sunshine Daydreams, a Grateful Dead journal. Interesting. And we have in here Jerry Garcia. And someone wrote in here on August 9th. Jerry Garcia. And so it's just a journal, so you can write stuff down on very specific dates, and it gives the dates that they toured. So it's an interesting journal, 30 to 35 bucks. And then, I'm out on time. Ooh. All right, so we have this Tomorrow and Beyond. When I looked it up for the hardcover, in really good condition, they could be about 50 bucks. But this one is not. There's it's ex-library. B, it has this kind of spillage on it. And there's at least one page that has part of it cut out. All right, so, and I was thinking, well, I could probably use these pictures and put up and line them up here. And my wife said, well, wouldn't that kind of, I'm just going to do this as I'm talking, could that get you in trouble for copyright? And my first thought was no, because it would fall under fair use, because I'm only using so many of these pictures out of a book that has probably 300 pictures in it. And so I looked it up in regards to that, and the answer is unclear specifically for the way on how I was asking the question. So I went ahead and emailed the publisher of this, which is Workman, and I just gave them breakdowns like that's what I'm going to do. Maybe once a month I'll kind of rotate the pictures around. Of the 10 or 12 pictures I'll be showing at a time, that's a small margin, less than 5%, which then would fall in fair use, but these pictures are works of another person, and the publisher and Ian Summers got the permission to use those pictures and those graphics in the book. So by proxy, all I'd have to do is go through the publisher or Ian Summers. But to be safe, I emailed them saying, hey, the book itself is not going to be a prop, but the images I'm going to take out of the book, which then I'd be defacing, which I guess that would be a form of transformative, because I'll just be defacing the book, and now I'm no longer using the book for the purpose of a book. I'm using it just for the pictures. But still, to be on the safer side, I did email them to see, because some of those pictures are just really neat. And this, I think it's good to have this right here. It lightens everything up, but I want it to be more kind of eye-catchy, if you will. So, all right. So there's the screenshot. I'll put up that has something to do with books that I've said before. That will help for future reference. All right, so what do we have here? If I go even 30 bucks average a book, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's 180. Say maybe it's a little more, so that's 200. And there's 5 of these at 30, that's 350. And even if I do 20 each, well, we'll do that. That's 400 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 200, 305. So 600 would be pushing it. Who knows? Might be. Oh, yeah. The frames. 600 would be pushing it. But we have $18. 15. So that's 33. 15. So that's 48. And 3. 51, maybe 52 bucks for over say 600. So that's staying within that 1 to 10. That's not what I go for, but that's always kind of good to know at the end of the day that that's what my averaging was. And minus the one right here, 2, 7, 8, 9, 17, 27. So that's $3. 27, no, 27, $2. Yeah, right at $2. It's like in 17. 17 times 3, 51. So $2 average. That's pretty much what I go for. All right. So if you like what you heard, like what you saw, like what you learned, import games. You know, there's not going to be a lot of them listed on the United States sites. So grab it for $1 or $2. Let me think you're going up. Comment down below. Subscribe, share. Those are all free. They help me, help you, so we can help other people learn about physical media, selling it on eBay. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hey. Hey.
Oh my God, Heather was right. I am Snow White.
Get out. Don't growl at me.
You're in our house.
Hey. Get out.
I think that's what I'm not supposed to be.
What are you doing up front anyhow? You go back in your woods. Hey. Why?
Yeah, no.
And it comes running back.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Not acting wild or all like. He's running around. Maybe he's just telling me, he's like, hey, the stinky butt ate all the food. Hey, found your food? You don't need to break in the front window to get food.